Hmm. And some Bible studies with you today. Yeah, some Bible studies. Bible, a big Bible full of books. The Lord wanted you to have these books. And all the shame that is revealed. All the shame that is revealed. Now, you might be like me and wonder, why is this book centered in the center of the world? Egypt is the center of the world, really. So why is this book not about Chinese people? Or why is this book not about Portuguese people? Or Irish people? Or Native American people? None of these people made so many mistakes. It seems the Lord wanted you... That's what the Bible is. The book of mistakes. The big book. You made every mistake in the book. That's what they call every mistake in the book. And some gypsies and leprechauns think it's a book of initiation. And if you make every mistake in the book, it has an effect. And they're very stupid people. You'll have to suffer every mistake in the book. So they make every mistake in the book on purpose because it has an effect. No shit, Sherlock. But the good Lord, anyway, wanted you to know about these mistakes and the people that made these mistakes and the people that seemed almost destined to repeat these mistakes, almost to a point where they need to be separated from society and kept at a distance from you. And you might get offended then and think that they're being snobby, but it's for your best interest that these people kept away from you and stayed out of society and didn't break bread with you. Now this no one else did this, basically. This history of mistakes, they seem destined in absolutely every event. I'm not going to say who, because that's illegal. You can't say who. But every mistake they make, and they still make these mistakes somewhat religiously. And the good Lord wanted you to know about these people, because they're a danger, they're a threat to you and your world around you, these people who constantly make these mistakes. So they might move to your town, they might flood your entire country, and you might realise you have problems. This happens a lot, you know what I mean? This has happened in history. This has happened. They flood your country because they hear about your country being full of stars. So, say, prudent pre-war Germany was full of stars and starry people, and then they suddenly have an influx of gypsies. I'm not going to say certain types of gypsies, and then you see all the social problems that develop from these gypsies. Conquesting. It's the first horse of apocalypse. They conquest. They find out. Because they're cut off and they see lots of gypsy stuff, so they can know who's starry. And they'll mess up Iran and they'll mess up Pakistan. And they'll cause holy war everywhere, shake it up a bit. And Ireland was like conquered very easily, just conquested so simply. Okay, Amelia falls here to these gypsies. Our president is from Florida, you know what I mean? So yes, the good Lord wanted to warn you of these people. And to make every account of their treachery, their horrible, murderous ways, their kiddie-killing ways. And that's why it's in the Bible. It's an explanation of how these people got so messed up and stupid, basically, and committed to stupidity and a blatant reoccurrence of stupidity. Nearly in every event, there's always somebody that they didn't think was good enough, you know, not tall enough, not this enough, and they cheat and with them. And then you see events like, for example, like when I say not perfect enough, they say, oh, you're not. This is when, like, every instance in the Bible, if you learn to read the Bible, it's every instance of stupidity of these people doing it over and over and over again. Like, we know that the firstborn son is meant to be the priestly son, but you see the Judean son in this family. It's not even meant to be lineage, you know what I mean? A lot of people, royalty, and a lot of other people you can't explicitly mention, committed to a lot of incest. Keep it in the family, you know, trying to keep it in the family. And it's nothing to do with lineage, it's favourite people. You might not like your family. Jacob loved his children. That's why it became lineage, his 14 sons. But it's not, so like, you know, all that incest is hilarious now, looking back, you know, trying to keep it in the family. A lot of people are like heavily inbred out there, royalty as well, try to keep it in the family. And they probably hate their own family, you know what I mean? As they did Joseph. So like you see this at the very beginning. Joseph, the achievement, Jacob was the achievement, and then his 14 sons and his 14 children. He had one girl, Nefertiti. And the instant that he just leaves it out of his control and gives his birthright onto Joseph, you know, his blessing onto Joseph, his brothers His own brothers tried to kill him and betray him. Joseph is the Jesus line and Islam line. Oh, it's 2 world religions for one family. He's a really likable kid, isn't he, Joseph? And all the other brothers, I'm not going to say who these people are, but they're not Islam and they're not Christianity really. But all these other brothers just from the start wanted to rip off and kill him and cheat him and rob him. And that's embedded in the history of certain people. We can't say who, but that's embedded in the history of these people that do cheat, rob, and kill even their own brother. And that's what God wanted you to know. But that's why they're like that. Due to this event. This event of Jacob happened everywhere. Starborn kids happened before. Like, it must have been before the fact that they were all Israelites in a diaspora. Not all Israelites, but just scarlet gypsies and some Israelites being enslaved by a pharaoh. So it happens all the time. Like, there's no beginning or end to this. But in this particular event, so God didn't want you to know about China, the Chinese Israelites, because they probably didn't make these mistakes. Didn't want you to know about the Irish Israelites, Starry-born, because they didn't make these mistakes. It seems the people who made every mistake in the book that God wants you to know about are these certain people, and to be aware of these certain people and the mistakes they make. So if you see people doing these things in society, you can recognize them very quickly and put a solution to that. So if you see anyone doing pretty much anything you find in the Bible, people say, why are you doing it? It's like, oh, it's in the Bible. They're the big book of mistakes and warnings and gypsy things to avoid and prevent. So to be aware of these people and to know them, because they're a danger and they bring upon apocalypse everywhere, pretty much like they go. Being committed to Egypt and not Jacob. So yeah, everything from murdering your brother, spiting your brother, bonking your mommy, Damien, twice, Damien. It's the only time he probably even met his mother, when he fucking came inside her, because the good Lord saw it fit, and Damien was trying to please the Lord in self-mockery, incest. So yeah, you don't hear about the Chinese Israelites. You want to know about these specific bunch of Israelites because these made every mistake in the book, and you need to be, cautious of them and wary of them. And Jesus Christ even brought it against them. It's like, they meant a history of kiddie killing and rape and sodomy and star bonking and Shemitism that's in you people. And the Lord held this criticism against them and got all his blood removed. Every drop of his blood was removed, and he got regenerated new blood, Christian blood, newborn blood. So he didn't bear their history of iniquity, and we can all escape their history of iniquity and their history of murder and sin, but through Christ, through Christianity. Some people don't want to take into this, and they commit to Ahab and Jezebel probably, and they're still kiddie killing and star fucking. Some people, we don't say who, Can't say anything, can you? In no event was like, they accepted anyone. Like I was saying about Judean, it's like, oh, you're not Jewish, and then there's a kid born who is Jewish, and they kill him and fuck him and destroy him and rob him and cheat him. And then there's one that is Jewish and Judean. King David was Judean and Jewish and was amazing and perfect, and still they wouldn't accept him as the Lord, being perfect in every way that they wanted. And this happened with Jesus as well. He was perfect in every way, and they still found any reason, because he was kind of a posh boy, and he's like, oh, tax collectors, and he's like, well, you are a fucking tax collector, what are you saying about me? It's like, well, even if he's perfect Joseph, they'll still kill him in envy and spite, rob him and rip him off, and adulterously try to hide it. So yes, be aware, be alert. Are you the travelling salesman that I have heard about? Turns out he was a travelling salesman in the end, wasn't he? Running around doing those little shows. Yeah, I don't know what to say, kids. To protect your neck, because protecting your neck's probably illegal. You know what I mean? Kiddie fucking Shemites won the war. You know what I mean? That won the war. socialism, protecting the kiddies, lost the war. And Christians became aware of what was happening in World War One, actually, but then they fought over it in World War One, and everyone was like, "Why were we fighting in World War One?" And when everyone found out why they were fighting in World War One, then it became more. Everybody knows. And then it happened again, so that was supposed to be the war to end wars. Like, all right, we're both valid now. You've been harvesting and fucking us and tormenting us and having us in bondage, Hebrew slavery, ironically, you know what I mean? You've had us in, and Christians copped on, and because you have to understand, Christians are big and juicy and lovely. You all have lovely blessings and orreries, and you're so pure and pretty and intelligent and bright and smiling, lovely singing. Have you ever seen Dirty Dancing? Chick flick. Hilarious. All I know from watching Dirty Dancing is certain people are blatantly removed from Christian prostitution and Christian abortion. And there was some dancing as well. Like that other film. But anyway, I could talk lots about films that they've made, you know, the ACEs. Because that's what won the war, you know, you can say anything you want. Germany couldn't say anything they wanted really after the war, but they did say everything they wanted to do in Karl Marx, and a big black gay Jew. And basically, our spokesman is a big black gay Jew. I don't know if he was homosexual, I like to think he was. So nothing to do with queers or race or black people, or nothing to do with Judaism at all whatsoever. Their nominated spokesman post-war was a big black gay Jew. It was to do with the fact that you were all being harvested, you weren't getting what you deserved, you were being cheated, ripped off, you did not have spiritual socialism and security, and this lost the war. So you're still all in spiritual bondage and slavery. And everybody knows, so, you know, it could be anyone. Some Protestant shark living in Florida, Wolves of Wall Street, Vatican, pseudo-Vatican, Vatican is pseudo-church, more pseudo-churches and pseudo-churches. In the way, well, in my country, in Ireland, they kind of put some paint on sheep to mark the cattle to say that they belong to a certain farmer. And there's loads of, like, crap on TV. Like, they're painting Ireland, everybody's painting Ireland. Because there's a big, like, Syrian or, like a race, the gypsies are, like, terrible, terrible people. Being educated, liberated on the matters and the events. And you're doing it to yourself now, Paddy, aren't you? It's the worst thing, is like, I've already said, it's like Liberia, when these people, of no specification anyway, but specifically genocide. It actually was genocide, wasn't it? If you're killing, I don't know, to say it's an abstract comment, but they're all inbred. So it really is genocide. These people, yeah, like, they come, the worst thing, if they, like, really seep and root and rot into your society, they'll teach us all about kiddie killing. And this happened in my country, and Liberia as well, and the whole country are all about, like, star fucking, Shemitism and star fucking and fucking his wife and then fornicating, and it's just like, really like assassin 101 occultism, you know what I mean? And they're all killing to regain entry. They all wanted more, and they're all addicted to it. Babylon. Read a book, you know what I mean? Competing and killing and doing anything to regain entry for some gypsy, Babylonian gypsy merchants of the temple, which you're supposed to know about. And if you did what Jesus did, you'd chase them all out of the temple, and you'd attack them, and you'd threaten to smash their tables. There's a lot of families' homes. They don't deserve tables, basically. It is super ancient poetry. They don't deserve tables if they're going to do this. They can eat on the floor with their bellies like a serpent. They love you all acting like snakes. This mastermind poetry that I understood. They want you on your belly, not chewing or talking or moving or walking. They want you staring like a crocodile or a serpent on the floor. And you'll be lying on the floor until it gets big enough to swallow you. Yeah, I'm not a snake, I mean, I'm a master poet, so I understood this very quickly, and I was like, no, I'm not going to lie on the floor naked like a snake, lying on the floor, lying on the floor. Have you ever heard Christian music? It's wonderful. Wonderful Christian music. I'm a young, intelligent person. What's that part in that big book of mistakes about young, intelligent children? Oh yeah, what's that part in that book that written about those scary, horrible gypsies you need to be aware of? About young, intelligent children born into stabilities, and the better, like a Christian stability. Juicy Christians. Juicy Christians. And they're also ephemeral, and they have no idea about it. And we can just be like dirty shepherds and sheep shag all the little flock. And if your shepherd ain't doing it, wolves will come along and do it, and somebody's going to come along and do it, and you're all so lamb-like. It's just so easy. You make it a little too easy, don't you? So, read a book. Protect Your Neck. Aaron, Ireland, Aryan. Yes, I know, yes. Shocker to me as well. Aaron. Yes, protect your neck. I remember what lost the war. Protecting Aryan people. Yeah, protecting them lost the war. So harvesting them won the war. And everybody's united. And even the Bundestag. Yeah, the Bundestag are even abundance. It's like, you lost the war, now you have to be Shemites. You have to be fucking pederasts. And Germany like, okay, and we'll do it better than everyone else, like we do everything better than everyone else. And you get your little chicken wing star, and everything's going up with your little chicken wing black and white star. And it's all faded to black, doesn't it? Because they know all about it. And their little chicken wings fade to black, and 50 stars for every one person. And every home in Germany has 50 Christmas trees. Yes, the Bundenstein. Legal necessity now, you have to be a kitty fucker. Be a traitor and an infidel. I'll call you all out. If you ever see anyone going down for being a kitty fucker, they're most likely not. Andrew probably is, but if you see someone like Bill Crosby, I got Bill Crosby out of prison, very happy with that. If you see someone like Bill Crosby going down, he's not a kitty fucker, because they're all kitty fuckers. So if one kitty fucker is going down, they'll all be going down. Like, that's why they took a stab at Andrew, because he's like up at the top of the list of kitty fuckers, but really up there, so everyone will come down. That's the message in Andrew, because everybody is a kitty fucker, not just Andrew, don't worry. Not just Andrew, but they're basically saying that we'll topple Andrew, and everyone will topple with Andrew, under Andrew, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, Crosby got it, because they protect each other, basically, they desperately protect one another, because if one goes down, it's likely they'll bring all of them down, because they're all little snitchy, traitorous kitty fuckers. So they protect each other greatly. So if you see somebody going down for this, it's not legitimate, it's probably propaganda. Yeah, Andrew is legitimately a kitty fucker, I imagine, but Crosby wasn't. He's a wealthy brother, wealthy man, a lot of royalties on Jew, expected, and yes, it is claimed he was. They wouldn't let him go down if he was. The thing about him going down is he wouldn't know about the actual kitty fuckers, so he couldn't even snitch them all out. So that's why he went down, because they don't care. If he knew, he'd like, I'll bust everybody. And everybody isn't, Confirmation and communion. Church records. These children came forth of their own will and sat on the lap of the bishop. Yes, it's all to do about kitty fucking. Yes, everything is. Yes, your schools, your healthcare, your church, everything. Yes, it's all to do about kitty fucking. Yes, but Los Angeles didn't want anything to do with it. All of it. Churches, hospitals, they're all, yes. This won the war, you have to remember. Screening society and harvesting society and keeping society in spiritual bondage won the war. Socialism lost the war. Spiritual socialism, protection, equality and justice lost the war. Lost the war. Thanks, England. We love you for that. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's wonderful. So that lost the war, socialism. Yeah, I get called a fascist because people are moronic and have no idea what they're talking about. Fascism is like, your chemistry book. Everyone agrees upon a chemistry book, and that's fascism. Wearing a uniform is type of fascism. It's uniform. Anyway, I want everybody to be happy, equal, and free. And do you? I want everyone to be happy, equal, and free. That's explicit fascism. You want something for everyone, and